being in touch with our experience and letting the body and heart be touched in a different way. So this evening will be similar to yesterday's evening. I'm going to give a short talk on Amitabha, about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll chant the Amitabha mantra. So we have the women in the Tara cabin again chanting for us, although today I think it's a beautiful recording they did a few weeks ago, if I get that right. So we are in for a treat there. And then at the end, we'll do the transference of merit and self-surrender and call and response between the Tara cabin and us here in our respective places. So that's the evening. Just into, okay. That's it. Unmuted. So let's begin by saluting the shrine, or the three jewels. I've got Amitabha on my shrine here. You are welcome to salute Amitabha, my little Amitabha shrine, or the three jewels wherever you are, or your own shrine. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Namah. Om Ahum. So you can just make yourself comfortable, really, for the next 20 minutes. Just want to sit so that Amitabha can be seen. I asked one of the women I live with here in my house whether I could borrow her beautiful Amitabha, because I only have a really tiny one. So that's Amitabha here on my shrine. So I'm going to speak about Amitabha. Amitabha is my practice. But before I start, I want to just share a short preamble that has nothing to do with Amitabha, really, but more with my mental states today. And that linking very well to what we are doing today. So I don't really like speaking in front of an audience, and I woke up feeling quite anxious this morning, and I got into a whole rumble in my head about how much I don't want to sit here right now talking about Amitabha and giving a little talk, and got really caught up in it, not wanting to do it, real resistance, but also, of course, really wanting to do it. And as I was sitting this morning in the morning sit with all these thoughts, I remembered really helpful conversations I had with my preceptor Srivati about this topic of me wanting to feel more comfortable about speaking in front of an audience, and also really wanting to do more of it. And she said something so helpful to me. She said, it's not your talk. It's not about you. It's an offering. It's just an offering. You know, and I was doing all this, me, you know, what will people think of me, and I can't do it, and all of that. And she said, it's just an offering. It was so liberating and freeing, I can't tell you. And so I remembered that this morning, and it was so helpful. And so here I am right now, and I'm actually fine. I'm actually fine. And I'm already enjoying it. So yeah, so this is a short, very short talk about Amitabha and my practice. And I'm going to briefly highlight a few more of his characteristics and qualities. It's by no means comprehensive, and it's a complement really to Arya Jaya's beautiful introduction to the Padma family, and she's already shared with us some of the qualities of Amitabha. So some of what I will say will be familiar to probably many of you. But I often find when I have heard people talk about the 5 jhanas of the Buddha Mandala, depending on where I was at with my practice, or what was alive for me, or what I was grappling with or struggling with, I would often discover something new and helpful. And so I hope maybe that might happen for you too. So Amitabha means infinite light. I really love that. And he's the Buddha of love and compassion, as we've already heard. He's associated with the qualities of the lotus, gentleness, openness, and the more receptive qualities such as patience, curiosity, tenderness, kindness. And the quality of openness is also further stressed by his element fire. So fire consumes everything. Fire is transformative, yeah, and that's powerful as well. And fire is transformative, and can create space really for something new to arise. Yeah. And the wisdom of Amitabha is about seeing the uniqueness in all beings and in all phenomena, in everything arising and passing away. He can see the uniqueness. And his discriminating wisdom is non-dual. His wisdom introduces no idea of self and other. And this links very much to what we've been exploring this week. Yeah? We are all different, we are all unique. And yet we are so similar, sharing our common humanity. And earlier and this morning when I was sitting with my anxiety, that also was helpful, knowing that other people feel anxious, about public speech. So many people feel anxious about it. It is even said, as you may know, that more people feel anxious about public speaking than dying, which I find very puzzling. That's not the case for me. So 2 more qualities or characteristics I want to explore, because I have found them so interesting in my exploration of Amitabha. One is the mudra of meditation, and the other, the symbol of the peacock, which actually we could see so beautifully yesterday in the Adhisthana shrine. So Amitabha's mudra is the mudra of meditation. He's sitting like this with the, I'll show this again in a moment. And he just sits, silent, upright, contented. He's calm, peaceful, and welcoming. There's a lovely line in Vesantra's Meetings of the Buddhas that says, if you have a few minutes to sit with him and join him for meditation, before you have to rush off, he will be pleased. I really like that. So we can do that during and after the mantra, once the mantra has faded, we can really sit in his presence. So his meditating hands are joined, yeah, one hand resting on the other like this, which you have seen, I'm sure. And his thumbs, this is the interesting thing I find, and helpful as well, and also relates to something we've been exploring this week about balanced effort. So his hands are resting like this, and his thumbs are just touching. And it really indicates how relaxed he is. Yeah, because to sit like this and to have the thumbs touching without coming apart or without, pressing against each other, we need to apply balanced effort, not too tight and not too loose, or not too little or not too much. And if the effort is too little, the thumbs would come apart, would not touch anymore, and too much effort, and they would press upwards, and then it would break the perfect oval formed by the hands. So that's something I often come back to, particularly when my mind is very busy. I find that very helpful. And what has always been most striking for me about Amitabha is the symbolism of the peacock, which we could see, yesterday in the shrine. Beautiful. And according to myth, peacocks are capable of swallowing poisonous snakes without being harmed. I think this is a really powerful symbolism of being aware of and open to poison, harmful, toxic, difficult, or challenging experiences, and transforming them into beauty. That was really something that has attracted me the most when I came first across Amitabha. Although it would really be more accurate to say that Amitabha came to me, that he was really calling for my attention. And I'm actually very glad I heard the call. When I first came across the mandala of the 5 Buddhas many years ago, I remember that I found Amitabha rather boring, which I'm really embarrassed about now. I was even thinking that, I didn't need his help, I didn't need his inspiration, I didn't need his practice, and that I was already loving and compassionate. And that, that was rather conceited, and also very little did I know what was going on for me and my practice and what I needed to turn my attention to. At the time, I felt much more attracted by Amoghasiddhi. I think I really liked his qualities of fearlessness and power and energy and adventure. I thought it was rather intriguing. But that was much more outward, and what I really needed was bringing my attention more inwards. I still like Amoghasiddhi's energy, and I still sometimes call for his help, but it was Amitabha that really needed to become my practice, I think, and looking back now I can understand it better. And I'm going to say a little bit why that is. One of my core samskaras and working grounds is withdrawal and disconnection and holding a false view or false sense of unlove or not being loved. And I think it comes from the way I grew up, as it often goes back to our conditioning. I grew up with my sister and my mother, who was a single mom, and she was a full-time working mom. So home life wasn't always easy. My sister and I, we didn't get on at all, and we would spend quite a lot of time together on our own. our relationship was very, very difficult from when we were very young. Looking back, I would even say it really was toxic. I think we hated each other, so it was really very difficult, very painful. So the symbolism of the peacock has been very powerful and very helpful for me. The peacock's capacity to transform poison into beauty. Yeah, that was really, I think, what was happening in my relationship to my sister. When I began to understand what was really going on between her, my sister, and I, it changed everything. I began to see that my sister, just like me, was suffering when we were growing up, and that she, just like me, was not happy, and that she, just like me, felt abandoned by our father, by, in some ways, also by our mother, who wasn't around so much. We had just different strategies to deal with it, and we explored that as well. You know, we are unique in that we have different strategies of dealing with, you know, our experience and difficulties and our suffering. But we were very, very similar in what we were experiencing, and that was such a revelation for me. So my strategy was withdrawing, disconnecting, resentment. I didn't speak to my sister for 2 years, so that was one of my strategies. Very painful for both of us. So my strategy was more inward going, but with a huge impact outwardly, and her strategy was anger, going outward. Yeah. And seeing how our suffering was so similar changed really everything. Our strong dislike for each other, even hatred, really changed into understanding and compassion, at least from my side. I've actually never talked about it with my sister, but from my side, on my side, those strong feelings of aversion and really not liking her and pushing her away changed. I can understand her much, much better now. We have not become friends as a result. We are not even close. I don't even have her address in Germany, which sort of is really quite sad. But it's okay. What really has changed is how we meet each other now when we come together as a family, and that we can meet each other with respect, and we can actually talk with each other as adults. So my ongoing practice is keeping my heart open when I feel the urge to withdraw, to stay present, to look for opportunities to stay in connection with myself and others. And the practice of Amitabha has been very helpful with that. When I visualize him, I feel included, connected to his sphere of infinite love, light and compassion. It's really rather wonderful. Sometimes he appears sort of more in front of me, and the light and love sort of really comes and touches my heart, the heart center, where also the syllable sits, chi. Sometimes I have a sense of warmth and light, love coming straight. It appears more behind me. It's either coming from the front, or it's more behind me, or all around me. But whenever I bring him to mind and connect to his qualities, something always happens. Sometimes it's clearer, the way he appears. Sometimes it's just light. Sometimes it's a felt sense. But when I can connect with him in that way and be touched by his qualities, particularly when I'm in this place of unlove or disconnection, always something softens, always something opens up a little bit, even sometimes only slightly. And that is very, very beautiful and has changed really the quality of my heart and how I relate to people. This is ongoing practice. And sometimes it's easier to open my heart and let my heart be open than on other days. And this practice also happens, in my community here or with my family. So always opportunities for me to remember to stay present and to connect rather than to, withdraw or walk out. To stay close and to stay in relationship with myself and others. So that's my thoughts on Amitabha and my practice. So let's just take a moment. To breathe, to let the words subside. I've got a very, very short invocation by Ratna Shuri, who was also an Amitabha practitioner and who was also one of the founder members of Taraloka. So I thought that would be really nice to have a few of her lines to invoke Amitabha for us. And then we are going to hand over to the Tara cabin for the mantra. And after the mantra has subsided, we will sit for about 20 minutes. And then at the end, we'll do the transference of merit and self-surrender. Amitabha, every day you meet me with infinite compassion. Your light shines through even the darkest of days. Your wisdom speaks to me of love. Your love speaks to me of wisdom. Your mantra sings to me of your care for all beings. Amitabha, O you of infinite light, to you I bow down with deep devotion.
Om Amitabha Hari.
transference of merit and self-surrender. In call and response. May the merit gained in my acting thus.
May the merit gained in my acting thus
go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
My personality throughout my existences.
My personality throughout my existences.
My possessions.
My possessions.
And my merit in all three ways.
And my merit in all three ways.
I give up without regard to myself for the benefit of all beings.
I give up without regard to myself for the benefit of all beings.
Just as the earth and other elements.
Just as the earth and other elements
Are serviceable in many ways.
Are serviceable in many ways.
To the infinite number of beings inhabiting limitless space.
To the infinite number of beings inhabiting limitless space.
So may I become.
So may I become.
That which maintains all beings.
That which maintains all beings.
Situated throughout space.
Situated throughout space.
So long as all have not attained to peace.
So long as all have not attained to peace.
Thank you very much, everyone in the Tara cabin, for a wonderful mantra. Lovely. And thank you very much, everyone, for coming, for being here, for practicing together. Have a good night. Sleep well.
Thank you, Vimokshini.